Professor here, and again, we're going through the Losses at Lightspeed webinar just to give you an idea of what webinars can look like in today's world. They really are, there's a lot of things you can do. I'll do a behind the bow tie to be able to show everybody how I'm doing all these things that you're gonna see in the upcoming segment. But I do wanna let you know, this is part 2 where we're looking or going down memory lane for the UK and what happened with them in faster payments, and doing a little comparison to what's happening in the US or what I believe will happen in the US when it comes to faster payments. Hope you enjoy this next segment. Time to go down memory lane. Back in 2006, the UK went to chip and pin. When did we go to chip and pin? Fully. We actually have. I mean, there's still a lot of locations, gas stations, but not all gas stations. In fact, my closest gas station is chip and pin enabled. And when the first time I used it, it was actually a challenge because I put it in there, pulled it out, and it got mad at me. I was probably there 10 minutes just waiting for the thing to reset so I could do it correctly. Of course, I did document the whole process and make a video out of it, but that's a different story. We do have chip and pin in the US. We didn't have it in 2006. We're looking more like 2016. We started getting it 2018. You know, it's really everywhere. 2020, oh yeah, we got it now. Okay, what else happened in the UK? 2008. They launched their faster payments. Now, something I have to do a lot of, and this is where I do truly miss being in person, is defining as a group, well, what is a faster payment? Because there are instant payments, there are real-time payments, there's RTP. RTP, real-time payments, aren't really the same thing. RTP is a trademark type of payment offered by the clearinghouse that does move in real time though. So let's be clear on that. But there's also things like same-day ACH. There's offerings from Visa and MasterCard, as well as others. Now, are they faster? Everything I've named so far, actually, I would say is a faster payment. In fact, a lot can even say, in certain circumstances, a wire is going to qualify as a faster payment, so you have to define what is a faster payment. When I say in 2008, the UK got faster payments, what I'm really saying is they've got the more of what we think of as instant, real-time payments. Those things that happen in seconds. So they've had it, well, we're going on 12 years. Now they initially started with only 13 financial institutions connected to the infrastructure to be able to have a true 24/7, 365 real-time environment. Hey, that sounds a lot like the launch of RTP, because RTP from the clearinghouse actually launched in 2017. Yes, it's been around for 3 years. There was only a handful of banks, I want to say about 20 banks initially on there. It wasn't as, a whole lot. It could have even been less than that. I need to go back and check my numbers on that one. Homework for me right there. But very similar, we launched it in that. What also happened almost right afterwards, this one's kind of funny. You see that second bullet down there? Those of you who download the slides, you see it. I'm gonna put it back up on the screen for you. But you see down there here, let's do it this way. You see that second bullet. After launching their faster payment scheme, what came next? Their fraud intelligence sharing system got established. Why? You remember that first graph I showed you? When they first launched it, the hockey stick, it was way up here. Way up here, we've got fraud taking place. So what did they do? We start sharing fraud intelligence, and down it goes. If I were to ask at the end of the session, he might do it, what would be a great way to be able to control and stop fraud? I would say it's sharing of the intelligence that's used for that fraud. But let's move on. In 2010, the Financial Fraud Bureau was created. Because of sharing all that intelligence, they started realizing it was working. So what did they do? They made an official bureau, an official group, to be able to work together, to be able to control the fraud. Do we have anything like that in the US? Oh, that's what we call a cliffhanger. I'm not going to answer that. I'm going to move on. In 2014, they got PayMe's launching of a system that allows users to be able to go in and register their email address and or phone number so that payments can be sent without what we call friction. Yeah, friction is when it's harder to send a payment. Friction is when people get confused or even give up within an app because I don't know how to send this because I don't know what to do. What do you mean I need an account and routing number? Could I have your account and routing number? I mean, you see that at the dinner table and people, my what? People don't know what that is. So PayM was a system or a service that allowed people to be able to send faster payments using a phone number or an email. Now, what's unique is they registered the number in the service. Do we have anything like that in the US? And that's going to be cliffhanger number 2 as we move right along.
Answer is yes, yes, yes to both questions so far.
All right, now in 2015, we have seen faster payments have been around for 7 years in the US, and they raised the limit to $250,000 here in the US. When we started offering same-day ACH, what was our initial limit? All the AAPs out there are screaming $25,000. When we first launched RTP, what was the initial limit? In case you don't know, because that's not on the AAP exam, it was also $25,000. Here we are, 4 years later with same-day ACH. It's hard to believe it's only been 4 years, but 4 years later on same-day ACH, 3 years later on RTP, and both limits have raised to $100,000. What I hope you are seeing is the trends of what is happening, and this isn't just in the UK. This is actually globally as far as how faster payment adoption and what happens within the different areas and segments, what happens. Because I'm focusing on the fraud, but all these trends, the fraud tends to follow. So we saw that increase. In fact, now they have in the UK where you don't even have to have a limit. All right, but because the limit went up, the losses went up. With the losses going up, they created a joint fraud task force to be able to work together with all the government agencies, the police, and the banks or the banking industry to be able to help share data, limit fraud. Second bullet, really important one. They got the Take 5 initiative. Well, what's this Take 5 initiative? We'll see that Take 5 is a national campaign. It is a national campaign funded by the banking industry and with help from the government to educate everybody, not just your account holders, but well, I guess your account holders does fall under everybody, but it's not just you trying to educate your account holders, it's the entire industry and the government working together to educate people on faster fraud, on what they should do to be suspicious about payments. Now, back when people went to movies, yeah, that used to be a thing that I'm gonna tell my grandkids about. But back when people used to go to movies, the Take 5 initiative was something that would play like as part of the trailers. The Take 5 initiative is something that you would see in the subway or at a bus stop. The Take 5 initiative was something that you would see on TV. It's called a national campaign. Do we have anything like that in the US? Well, do we have anything like that in the US? You're gonna have to tune in for, well, part 3 on just the comparisons, and there's a lot more to the entire series because we've been taking the whole Losses at Lightspeed webinar, breaking it into chunks. And well, if you missed any of those chunks, go to our YouTube channel. That's the YouTube channel for the Payments Professor. And while you're there, hit that subscribe button. And well, if there's a topic, maybe a question you got from watching this series, maybe something else you'd like to see created, you can always go to the paymentsprofessor.com website where we have full courses, or you can email me, kevin@paymentsprofessor.com. We are here to be able to serve payments professionals just like you on answering everything there is when it comes to electronic payments, at least what we can. Hope you're enjoying this series. Class dismissed.